So I don't look down. Every single one of you.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
I can't even see you because I don't look down.
I'm not leaving. The show goes on. This is my home. They're gonna need a wrecking ball to take me out of here.
Don't look down.
Good timing, everybody, whether it's morning, evening, or in between, wherever you are in the world today. Welcome to Unwrecked Traders. Before we begin, please hit the like and subscribe and join us to share ideas, strategies, and learn together to make better trades. This is not financial advice, nor am I a financial advisor. This is strictly my thoughts and ideas, so let's get that crypto. All right, everybody, jumping right into where we left off in the last video. And right now we have the fib channel that we're in, bringing up the trend lines. So come down into the 4 hour. So right now with the fib channel, we could possibly move right up to the 50,800 area. And this was the channel we were looking at before. I think price was down here somewhere in the last video. Basically, I said it could come up to here, back down, or continue up. If it did continue up and broke through, we could see a move right up to here. More or less, we found resistance kind of in this area here, which goes pretty far back, all the way back to August 17th on the 4 hour. So you can see this line coming right across here, and to draw it in, basically be right there. So we've kind of found resistance in a way. Right now we're finding support on it, so we could get continuation up, or we break down through here, come back down into this trend line, and see what happens. Going into the Whistler, we'll go up to the monthly. We'll remove the trend lines here. Reset the graph. Bring up the monthly. All right, so we do have a new monthly. Today's October 1st, sorry. So new monthly, October 1st. So a lot of coins we're looking for in and around 20% to the long side, 10 to be sure, but we're just looking at Bitcoin right now. So on Bitcoin, we have resistance at 50,600 and support level at 35,000 right here on the blue aqua. And then a possible target still of 29,200. And if we look down at the quasi, you can see the 20 is still down. So price currently, even though the quasi is still up, we do want to come down to the 29,000. And we never broke out of this Bollinger Band up here. So we could move up to resistance at the 50,500. So we'll see what happens. And going into the weekly. So going into the weekly, just wanted to bring this up. So that 51,000 is the top of this fib channel. But anyways, right now on the weekly, this is somewhat resistance. It's also support. It's kind of borderline at the top of the range here. So as of now, we'll hold it as resistance. And the next support line would be 35,000 down here. And the higher resistance level will be 55,800. The Aqua 50 could still be classified. Not really, actually. Let's skip that. But we do have the possible target of the 100 coming down. And that'll be at 24,100, which is this level right here. So price actually does still want to come down to here. That will break once this moves above it, if it does happen. The 10 is also moving up. So that 10 could push us right up to the 50, top of the 50 again. or it could just hold in at the 20, come back down. We'll have to see how that plays out. Going down onto the daily. So coming down onto the daily, we have resistance where we have currently stopped at 47,800. And let's get rid of this line here. And in the last video, I said that the target would be here, 46,600 area, which we've hit. So that target was hit, which was a nice gains of, I think it was like 8% or something like that. So we'll get rid of that for now. But we do have resistance that, like I said, that we're hitting 47,800. Support below that at 43,300. Currently, there's no real targets. However, if we look at the quasi, the 10 here is pretty high up, almost to the 3. Well, it's just about this 2.25 standard deviation. So once this actually starts to come back down, this would be our target here at the support of the 50 at 43,300. This will keep moving up though on a daily basis. So tick here, tick here, tick here kind of dealio. All right, so coming into the 4 hour. All right, on the 4 hour, we had a target also here of 46,200, which we hit. I'm not sure what the percentage was, but the target was hit. We have resistance right now at 47,550. The body of the candle kind of came up. The wick did come out, which is, the wick is allowed to do so. But if the 100 quasi stays below the range, the wick can come out. The wick can come all the way up to here, no problem. But typically the body will stay within the Bollinger Band. So right now we are coming down. No real targets yet. Again, same as on the daily, we'll have to wait for the 10 and the 20 to kind of come down into the range. Once we have confirmation on that, then we can be looking at the 44,300. This is the 4 hour chart, so this is going to move up considerably faster than the daily. So this could play out for another day. This kind of comes up and price hits the 200, finds support, bounces up or falls through support and continues further down. We do have a major support level here at 44,600. And like I said, the resistance at 47,600. Going into the 1 hour chart. So going into the 1 hour chart right now, we have support at 46,600. Possible target of 45,800. And a lower support level of 45,400. So right now, if we look at the quasi, the 10 has come down into the range here. On the 20 is still support. It is starting to come down, so we'll see how this plays out, if this decides to come back up or if it continues further down. Right now it's kind of leveling off, so we're seeing the sideways action. So when we do have sideways price action, what can happen is this 10 here will just keep coming up and price will come and meet it here. And that's that can happen quite often. Doesn't always go straight to where it wants to go. All right, so as of now, we're kind of waiting for the 20 to come down into the range. If it does so, likely it'll move down to support at 45,000. And I believe it was the, I'm not sure which one it was. Not sure which one it was right now, but regardless, likelihood is price is gonna, once the 20 breaks, it's gonna come down, might bounce a little bit, and then come down, hit the top of this Bollinger Band, which would probably be the possible target when that time does come, unless it does shoot straight down. All right, guys, that's the TA for today. Hopefully you liked it. Look forward to making another one here soon. The monthly opens are always a really beneficial time to make some good money, some easy money. And like I said, a lot of the alts right now are looking at about a 10% return. And I guess, you know what? Let's take a look at this real quick here. as well. Let's see where we're at. Because in the last video, I also said, let's remove this here because it is a new month. So like I said in the last video, when we were down here, that price is going to want to stay within this range because it's not going to want to leave this area, which it did. It actually range bound for quite a bit before shooting up into the monthly pivot. Once hit the monthly pivot, kept going up. So for this month, as of right now, we are above the monthly range. So we would be looking for monthly R1 here and the monthly S1 here. So if we look at the last month's range here, let's get rid of some of this stuff so not as confusing. Let's just look at the monthly. And we'll come into maybe the 4-hour. So right now, and let's bring up one more range. Actually, let's bring up a couple more. Let's bring the look back up to 5. So in this month, we had a downward pattern here. This probably came to the monthly R1, which is here, maybe. Then we had a higher monthly pivot. Came up, hit it, another monthly pivot up. Come over here to the new one. So this one here is slightly above the last pivot, but you could say that this is within the range. So we'll see how this plays out. A lot of the times when the pivot is still within the last range, it'll be a reversal pivot. So this could come up to monthly R1. If it doesn't and it fails and breaks through the monthly, then we'd probably be looking for the monthly S1, maybe monthly S2. And then this monthly would move down to here, say, for the range. And then we come back into it, decide which way we want to go from there. So let's get rid of these lines. And I can kind of show an example. I think it came, let's bring this to 20. It was almost 2 years of data. So this is the one I want to look at right here. So in this range right here, you saw kept moving up. This one, even though it was higher, it was still pretty much within the range of this one. And then we saw this big drop. And because this was such a big drop, then we saw a higher pivot. We came almost up into it, not quite. Back down to hit this one. And now we've been in an upward range ever since. So like this one here is similar to this one. I could see us, like I said earlier, coming up, trying for the monthly R1, possibly failing. If we don't fail, then we could keep going up. Very possible. But once we break this monthly range, I'd be looking for the monthly S1, if not S2. And it could just come down to here, bounce around, back up, down. But like I said, I would be looking for the monthly R1 first because we're above. If we do break down through, then I'd be looking for the monthly S1. Now, let's get rid of this stuff. I'm going to hide the lower time frames and go up into the higher time frames. We're going to take a look at the quarterly. So on the quarterly right now, the quarterly is actually lower pivot. It's within the range. So we'll see how this plays out. Right now it looks like it's trying to still go for the quarterly up here at 54,700, or at least the previous quarter high of 52,800. So until this breaks down, I believe, yeah, so this quarterly on Bitcoin is still a naked quarterly, never actually hit it yet. So regardless of how high price goes, even if it does come all the way up to here, eventually it's going to want to come back to the 40, let's just say 42,000 area. Yeah, 42,000. Let's just go with 42,000. So no matter how high this goes, within the next 3 months, that takes us till the New Year's, which is a long time. but we have 3 months to make it back to here. So no matter how high this goes, it should come back to here. So right now it looks like they're going to try for the previous 3-month high, which is your 53,000, and then come back down. It could just go to the midpoint, and the midpoint would be, oops, what happened there? What just happened? All right, so let's try this again. 3-month R1. So our midpoint is right here at 48,500, which pretty much takes us just to this level here. So we could move up, hit this, come back down to the quarterly. So we'll see how this plays out, and that's what I'd be watching for Bitcoin for, well, basically till Christmas, really, to be honest. Now we could come down to the quarterly and then take off. A lot of people are speculating that we're going to hit the $100,000 stock to flow this time. I don't know. I'm not too positive on that one, as we do have the naked yearly here still at 21,000. And it seems kind of silly to go all the way up to 100,000 without hitting this range area to come all the way back down. Now that's possible. That's an 80% drop. So maybe from 100,000 to here is what they want to do. So let's just say 100,000, 80% drop, and then we're at the range. So maybe because the bear markets typically do the 80% retracement, maybe we do go up to 100,000 before Christmas, and then the next year have her drop down to the yearly range, and that's very possible. So we'll see how it plays out. And if I actually bring up the stock to flow, or one of them, see which one comes up, learn how to spell. So stock to flow, we'll bring up, this one has 800, so we'll bring up this one. Let's take a look at this one too by chart art, and we'll get rid of the chart art one because that is not what we want. And the stock to flow is kind of weak as well. So let's do, I think I have it on this one here, future outlook, I think. Yeah, so here we go. So here's the Bitcoin stock to flow right here. Just get rid of this triangle. So the stock to flow right now on this particular one is 128,000. So it is still green coming up. And in the 2017 one, we hit the red marker. If we do hit the red marker, then we're looking at 225,900. Seems pretty high, but, and if I actually, let's see here. Can't remember if it's this one or not. So this was my extreme levels here that I made a while ago, but it was up to the 418,000 mark by March 28th, 2022. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it was just a little prediction drawing that I was working on based on the past. And although the past doesn't always repeat itself, it does have some similarities. And again, some pitchforks and stuff. And if I go back to the furthest back ones, so this is all the way back from 2013. As you can see, this is how I drew it out. And it's actually been a pretty nice one, except for the little drop here in March. And in all reality, the bodies never went below this mark, just the lower part of the candles. So let's take a look at the most current area. So right now we're just below the midpoint, and the midpoint being the 63,700, which was our last high, really, for the most part. So if we went straight up, we'd be looking at the 64,000. And if we did fall down, we'd be looking at the 37,400 area. And that's pretty rough, but and Another one from 2013 all the way through. Midpoint being here. So we're still below this level here. If we break through, we'd be looking for this one. So 66,400. And if we don't, this stays as resistance, we break down. Currently, we'd be looking at 34,500. I think this is the last one from 2013 that is significant. It's actually pretty similar to this one, so no point talking about it. And if we draw this one here, this one is the original. So the original from 2013. And kind of, if we look at this is the top, and we've just been kind of finding support along this top here. So which is still 35,000. Excuse me, 35,600 area right here. So excuse me. This is the all-time trend line that I've drawn from the beginning, coming up. And again, if I zoom in, we're hitting resistance again. So if we break out of this, could easily come up to the all-time high. If we fall down, we'd be looking at this level here first, on the weekly anyway. So we're looking at this level was our last support, which is 31,800. So anyways, guys, I think that's enough for today. The video is getting a little long. Kind of wanted to keep it in at around the 10-minute mark, and we're now at the 20. So I think I'll look at the future outlook here a little more regularly, and keep you guys posted on what I see on this. Just want to check to see. And on this one, all right, so on the weekly for this coefficient is 0.5, and that seems to work the best. If I do go down to like the 4 hour, for example, if you're wondering what I was doing, you can see that this is pretty small. So what I do is I just kind of try and find where the higher max levels are. On this case, it'd be 0.04. So I would actually come into here, turn this to 0.04, and then that gives the top there, kind of dealio. And then the same thing with the channel. So let's go back to the weekly here. Maybe. All right. So yeah, so I use this quite a bit on the weekly just to get my trend lines down. It seems to work really well for an oscillator. Also gives you the kind of the peak areas, unless it's really bullish, where it will kind of ride the top band for a little bit, which is expected. But it does give you a nice little area in confluence for longs and shorts. Right here, as you can see, trend line, just drew the trend line on here. We broke out, had double confluence here. So double breakout. I'm not sure where this trend line was coming from before. It might have been from a different time frame. But basically we would have been looking to come up to hit this trend line here, which is just above the 0.5, so in and around here. So if it continued forward, then we'd be looking for higher amounts. And as of right now, trend line has broken again up to, if I was to draw a new one, let's just clone this one. So there we go. So we broke out there. Technically, we'd be looking for the top of the 0.5 here, or this trend line up here, which would take us to the 68,000 area if we went that high. So we'll see what happens. Nothing is a certainty. All we can do is adjust our charts as price moves and make the best decisions that we can. All the indicators that I use are available through the Discord, which is currently closed. But I will be opening it up soon, just debating what to do about that and how to go forward. For now, I just want to keep making videos, explain my trading ways, I guess, and not only become better, but make you guys better as well and learn together. Everyone has different ideas, different ways of doing things. Some people are extremely successful on the analysis that they use. So my goal is to make a community where we all learn, we all become better, and we all help each other. And if my indicators can help do that, or my trading strategies and ideas, then all the better. But anyway, like I said, well, 5 minutes ago now, this video is getting pretty long. So I'm going to wrap it up here. See you guys in the next one. And hopefully you guys have a great day, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is. Take care. Look after your families. Become better. Thanks a lot.